Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, sports and athletics. I love high school and collegiate sports, and I really believe it's one of the ways that teenagers can learn life lessons on and off the field, and also instills a real competitive spirit and that drive of how to improve self, right? So I love it, I love it. So with that said, if I'm being honest, sports essays are one of my least favorite essays to write about. Yep, there it is, I said it out loud. And here's why. Most sport essays fall into one of three categories. One, they're writing about failure. Two, they're writing about success. Or three, they're writing about from failure to success. So the essay comes across as very one-dimensional, and often we learn more about that sport or the team and less about that person who's applying to college, right? So it really takes away from me getting to know the student as much as I'd like to, right? So if you're writing about this and you're reading it and you're thinking, this sounds a little bit too generic, you're probably right. You're probably right. So listen to that gut feeling. So today, let's talk about, what you can do to improve that. One of my favorite coaches, Coach Croson, he used to say to his football players, football is the most important thing in your life. It's not the most important thing in life. Let that sink in for a second. Football is the biggest thing in your life. It's not the biggest thing in life. So in that similar vein, I want you to think about your sport, because you are who you are, not because you play this sport, but the role that the sport plays in your life, okay? So as you think about writing about athletics for your essay, it can be much less about the sport, if at all. So here are a couple of examples. They're two gentlemen, and I want to say that there are certainly women who write about sports. I just pulled these particular samples, which are also in your sample packet. So the first student, his name is Dominic, and he wanted to write about basketball. That's his love. And I said, okay, so what are you going to say? What's the story? What's the memory? He said, I'm going to write about teaching fourth graders how to play basketball in this league that he was part of or something. He was the coach. And I thought to myself, I could imagine all of the essays I read that were similar. And I said, Dominic, didn't you tell me that you have a basketball shoe collection, Jordans or whatever? And I know who Michael Jordan is. And he said, yes. And I said, okay, tell me more about that. So I really pushed and prodded and got it out of him. And I said, that's the story you want to write. Write about your shoe collection. So he did. The second example is about Richard. And Richard loves ice hockey. He's from Los Angeles, so it drove him crazy that nobody really loved ice hockey the way he did. So like we like our Lakers or our Dodgers, it's just not the same, right? So when I asked him a little bit more about ice hockey, he'd been playing since he was little, but his high school did not have a team. And it's because of him, Richard is the one who brought ice hockey to this high school. And so I said, that's the story you need to write. So his essay is his journey about getting this team to be, getting an ice hockey team to his high school. So the reader comes away learning that Richard is a leader. He's determined. He went out and I think he had to fundraise or find sponsors. He found enough kids to play on the team. So we learn a lot more about Richard himself. Yes, through the background is ice hockey, but this essay is less about ice hockey and more about Richard and the role that ice hockey played in his life. Get it? Okay. All right, so here's how you're going to move forward. First of all, again, think less about the sport itself and more about why. Why is it that you feel compelled to write about this in your essay? What role does the sport play in your life? Number two, pinpoint that why. Really peel back the onion and really understand what is the why. Why do I love this? And then you're going to write down a story, a memory, a moment, a practice, a drill, whatever, that captures that why. Okay. I want you to also know this. You may have to start your essay all over again. You may watch this and think, oh, I'm going in the wrong direction. That's great. That's good. I want you to stick with this topic if it is meaningful to you. If you really want to write this topic, don't let the fact that I just said it's hard to stand out scare you. You are a competitor. You are on a sports team for a reason. And I know you can push through and make this one of your best essays that you feel proud of. So you might have to scrap it and start over again. You might have to scrap it again tomorrow when I tell you that what's not working. I don't know. But let's stick to it if you really want to. All right? Okay, so I'm super excited. I love this topic. When you are ready, so again, you can go back to some of the sample essays and get some things that you need and just read through that. But when you are ready, text the word ready to OB Coach. All right, good luck.